Now on Talking Solutions, a discussion with our friends from the American Cancer Society about upcoming Relay for Life events here in the Las Vegas area. We got a full house today. Mark Campbell, you are event lead for the Relay for Life Henderson coming up on April 22nd.
Yes, grateful for the opportunity. It's my second year doing the relay, and I'll share a little bit about how I got into it because it's probably a little unique for most people. When I moved here in 2006 for graduate school, somewhat against the wishes of my wife-to-be, I ended up dragging her out here after a year, and she ended up getting a job for the American Cancer Society, which was my first introduction to the group, mainly because I had never really been impacted by cancer in my own family. Pretty fortunate. She was community relation manager, and after going to 30-plus Relay for Life events, this is my story I always tell every time, but as a crowd control, garbage man, cleanup crew,
whatever they need,
before and after, I would sleep in between 12 or 24-hour event, and just became really inspired by everything that I saw. And so yeah, when my family started getting really impacted by it, decided that I wanted to see if I could help a little bit more long term and joined the Henderson committee, and it's been great.
Also in studio, we have Desiree. Desiree, I've got down that you are affiliated with Barclays.
Yes, I work at Barclaycard US in Henderson.
Are you also involved with the Relay for Life?
I am. For Relay for Life of Henderson, I sit on the event leadership team as the people lead. So I forge the event of recruitment and retainment of teams and participants for the event, as well as captain my corporate team with Barclaycard and head up the volunteer initiative for the day of the event. Barclaycard is also the sponsor for the survivor and caregiver tent, which provides the food and somewhere for all the survivors and caregivers to be on the day of the event so that they're comfortable.
We'll get into this in greater detail about Relay for Life, but Relay for Life, no matter which of the relay events this would be. I know we've got Henderson. We also have Las Vegas coming up. It happens all over the place.
Our event in Henderson, we actually go out for 12 hours from noon to midnight on April 22nd. We'll be out at the M Resort for our event.
What a great location to have your Relay for Life.
Yes.
Also in studio today, Lisa Buchina, Senior Manager for Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society. So if you're doing Relay for Life for ACS, are you involved with more than one of the relay events?
Yes, actually, as the Senior Manager, I have the whole state of Nevada, southern Utah, and part of northern Arizona.
Whoa.
I oversee 28.
I was going to say that there would be a bunch of them. I just didn't know exactly how much.
Yes.
Wow. Some of the Relay for Life events are 24-hour duration.
Yes. It's completely up to the community on how they want to do it. So they range anywhere from 4 to 24 hours. Within my events, I only have one 24-hour event, but it's because Relay for Life is completely volunteer-driven, and with Mark and Desiree being on the committee, they find out what their community wants, and they decide how they want to structure their relay. So every relay is different.
And it's kind of tailored to the needs of the area where it's being held.
Right. Las Vegas is from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., whereas the Henderson event is from noon to midnight.
What is the date for Las Vegas?
Friday, May 12th, and it starts at 6 p.m.
Our next event that we're talking about today with Mark and Desiree and Lisa from the American Cancer Society is the event for Henderson at the M Resort. This has got to be the best location ever.
Yeah, what we hear from the staff there that's been working with us is that Penn Gaming as a company nationwide is in support of American Cancer Society and Relay for Life from the top of their senior management. They may have even reached out last year to offer to host, and when we understood what they were willing to offer and the exposure we could get, we just jumped at the opportunity.
That just sounds like a great location. The date for Relay for Life for Henderson, which is going to be held at the M Resort, April 22nd?
Yes.
Desiree, you were mentioning, too, that it's a 12-hour duration?
It is. We'll kick off at 12 noon with opening ceremonies and honor our survivors and caregivers that come out to the event, and we'll close everything up at about midnight.
I have been at a number of Relay for Life events in North Las Vegas, in Las Vegas, different places, but a lot of the people who are hearing us today have never attended a Relay for Life event. I'll throw this out to all of you. Who should be attending Relay for Life? Who is this being set up for?
Everyone. It is truly a grassroots community effort to come together and finish the fight against cancer. And so we want everyone and their families to come out and see what it is that we all come together for, and see that there are so many people that you have a story in common with and can share your experiences throughout the day.
Well, that would be an automatic way to bond, wouldn't it? If you find someone else who also has been involved in the fight against cancer from whatever perspective, a cancer survivor themselves or the family of someone with cancer. I think actually these days, most of us have someone, family, coworkers, friends, who has to deal with some kind of cancer.
Yeah.
I would add to the things that happen at Relay, who should come and why you should come. The words that come to mind are celebrate. We have a lot of fun. One of our fun activities is called Ms. Relay, and a number of teams will sign up for the event to fundraise as a group. Any team that wants to participate in Ms. Relay will send a gentleman to perform in a beauty pageant.
What?
And yeah.
What?
It's a very well-run beauty pageant. So all the major tasks that you would have, there's a formal wear competition, and then there's a talent show. And in between those things, these lovely Ms. Relay participants will go around the track and fundraise on the spot. There's a lot of selfie taking. There's a lot of dancing. There's a question session too.
Well, that's part of any kind of pageant.
Yes.
Sure.
At the end, by the combination of judges and money raised, we will crown a champion. Last year we had, I think, 8 participants, and it was incredible. We had people flipping on stage, juggling. I want to say we had a couple really strong dancers. We had a Polynesian theme last year. Really good.
Hula skirts.
Now, these are guys.
They're guys.
Who are doing a beauty pageant.
Yes.
The dress competition.
The dresses, the talent, of course, the question, and most importantly, the fundraising, around the track.
Do they get a sash and a crown if they win?
They do get crowned. Yes, they sure do.
So part of Relay for Life, besides celebrating cancer survivors and people who are currently still in their battle against cancer and all of their different support groups, Relay for Life is also just a time to get together and bond and have a good time and do silly things.
It really is.
I think a lot of people in their mind believe that Relay for Life is nothing but people walking around a track over and over.
And it's funny that you say that, because one of the biggest points that I make whenever I get the opportunity to talk to a group of people who've never heard about Relay is that it's not a start and stop walk like your traditional 5Ks or 1 mile fun runs, things like that. It's a 12-hour relay. And we want people walking the track. The idea is that cancer doesn't sleep, and neither will we until we've been able to finish the fight. So yes, we want your teams represented on the track, and we're going to walk, but it really is time to take time out and have conversations and laugh and cry, hold your kids tight and eat and get your face painted and dance like a crazy person and wear funny socks. We do everything from stem to stern.
How would we find out more information about the Relay for Life events here in Southern Nevada? I know the one we're talking about mostly at this point is the one on April 22nd. What day of the week is that?
It's a Saturday.
Best day of the week to do anything. Saturday, April 22nd. It's at the M Resort. What a beautiful place. How do people get more information about the event?
Go to relayforlife.org. You can search by city, state, zip code. So if you want to find out about all of the relays that are in your community, and go to whichever one fits your needs the best.
And Lisa, you're saying that you've got not only Nevada, but part of Arizona, Utah. You've got, with your position for Relay for Life with the American Cancer Society, did you say 28 separate events?
Correct.
So pretty much there's going to be a Relay for Life event in your area that you can get involved with.
Correct. I'm going to Laughlin after I leave here today for their committee.
Wow. This has got to be a busy time of the year. We're all getting outdoors. This is a great time of the year for us to get outside before it gets crazy hot. So I imagine you're pretty busy with the American Cancer Society right now.
A little bit. Good time of year, though.
We are talking today about the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life events. We got a couple of them coming up here in Southern Nevada just in the next few weeks. One for Henderson, Saturday, April 22nd at the M Resort and Casino. We also have one in Las Vegas. What's the date?
May 12th.
The one in Las Vegas is at the Smith Center?
Yes.
A lot of them that I've attended have been after sunset and overnight at a track outside a high school. But it sounds like you guys are coming up with all kinds of great places if the the May 12th event for Las Vegas for Relay for Life is at the Smith Center?
Mm-hmm. It's at the Symphony Park, so it's outside of the Smith Center. There's a nice park right there. It's beautiful.
Well, you're coming up with some unusual places to have these events hosted, which is great.
Yeah.
Who should be looking at attending a Relay for Life event?
We've been talking about the word community here, and we have participation from a lot of the leaders in the community already, even from the city of Henderson, the Chamber of Commerce, and a number of our major companies here. But some of our best teams are people like myself that came from out of town that relayed somewhere else. And they said, I know Relay for Life. I want to find that. And last year we had a couple come for the day, just had been relaying in Southern California, but moved out here. Now this year they're already by far our leading fundraising team. So it can run from one person that wants to start their own team and recruit their friends to any company of any size. We have youth groups from churches. There's a couple high school groups, so all shapes and sizes really.
So the idea would be to get together with some people that you like spending time with anyway. Mm-hmm. Desiree, in your case, you work with Barclaycard and you have a team with your company. So it's coworkers on a Saturday at the M Resort for the Henderson Relay for Life event, which is coming up Saturday, April 22nd. And you're like, guys, let's all get together and have a day of fun.
That's exactly what we have planned. To come out, to fundraise, to have the best decorated campsite. Our theme is fairy tales for this relay, and so all the teams are encouraged to decorate their campsites, and there's a competition. Last year, Barclaycard won the Spirit Award. We plan on bringing that in again this year, and that's exactly what we do. We come out, we volunteer, we fundraise on the day of the event, we walk the track, and we make a difference.
You feel so good when you feel like you have done just that, make a difference.
Yep.
We really want to make sure that we're getting our survivors and the caregivers there and any of the family as well. We do encourage people to register in advance. And one thing that's important about the registration is it's not just for that event, but it's a way that we can keep you engaged year-round in activities that are also going on with the American Cancer Society.
Sure. And I would think that some of the people just like you were mentioning here a few moments ago who have participated in other areas in Relay for Life events are like, that was fun. Let's find one around here. And the place I believe that they would find out that information would be at the relayforlife.org website, where they can actually search out the events.
This is really when we want to celebrate those survivors and the caregivers, because the caregivers are just as important as those survivors.
And they're certainly impacted by a fight against cancer. Progress is being made, right?
Yes. And just even last week up in Carson City was our lobby day. We had volunteers going up, and we have our ACS CAN, that's our Cancer Action Network. They work with the people that are making laws. One of the things in particular they're looking at right now is working on getting an additional dollar increase tax on cigarettes. They had a $1 increase about a year ago, and they're looking at another $1 increase tax. So those are the types of things that we're working with the lawmakers on.
The money that is raised through Relay for Life events, Lisa, do you know where those funds go?
A lot of it does go to research. There are also local programs and services as well. Just here in Las Vegas, we have relationships with hotels that if somebody needs to come here for their treatment, then they can get a room in one of our partner hotels and stay there. We have our Good Feel Better program, particularly when you're going through chemotherapy. You have a lot of changes to your skin and your body, and we teach women how to care better for their skin and teach them how to apply makeup, and we provide wigs and scarves. And then we have our Road to Recovery.
Sure.
Yeah, that is for patients that may not be able to get to treatment on their own. So we have volunteer drivers that take patients to and from their treatment or doctor's appointments.
We had a cute pairing in here several months back. It was Gertie and Bernard. She drove him to all of his appointments, and a friendship developed because, of course, they'd talk coming and going, and while they were sitting and waiting and going through that and through multiple trips, they are friends.
That's cool.
And I'm sure that we have public service announcements running still talking about how the American Cancer Society is always looking for help getting patients to and from their appointments. There are so many ways people can be of help to the American Cancer Society. We'll talk about that more in just a second. Relay for Life, our next event, the one that we're focusing on mostly today here on Talking Solutions with Mark, Desiree, and Lisa. It is coming up on Saturday, April 22nd at the M Resort. People can put together teams. They can get involved in a lot of ways. You'd be lining up volunteers too, I imagine?
We are. are. We're looking for a number of volunteers on the day of. Desiree already mentioned the Survivor Caregiver Tent, where after the opening ceremony and Survivor Walk, we host them for a luncheon. There's entertainment. I believe we're going to have massage this year, some other activities for our survivors and caregivers to take part in. We need people to help there. We need people to just get people through the door, crowd control, registration, that type of thing. Last year we had over 1,000 people. We had to make copies of the sign-in forms over and over and over again. I think we're going to have a similar experience this year. We need people to help all around the property and then set up a track, as you mentioned. Our track's a little unique because we'll have all the teams outside the track. It's something I wanted to mention because most of the relays have the teams inside the track, so you can kind of look and see everybody the way our event's set up. We need volunteers for that as well.
And the way that they'd find out about that would be to do the website, relayforlife.org, and then look for that Henderson event on April 22nd.
There's another way as well. They can also send us an email. We have an email address set up just for our relay. It's rflhenderson@gmail.com.
I will make sure that those links, that information is also included on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with a podcast of our discussion today. That April 22nd date is going to be on you before you realize it.
Yes, that's why we're glad to be here to get the word out, so thank you.
Everybody is invited to be a part of this.
Absolutely. Everybody.
I've always heard that with the American Cancer Society that on day one of your cancer diagnosis, you are now identified as a survivor.
Yes.
The American Cancer Society's mission is to save lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer.
Oh, I like that. Nice. We always ask, as part of Talking Solutions, what can we as listeners do to help you?
Along the lines of who can attend, I think there's little things you can do that, we would love you to come to Relay for Life, make a team, fundraise, but there are other ways you can help. The American Cancer Society has resources out there, cancer.org. The 1-800 number is 1-800-227-2345. Simply knowing that and sharing that with anybody that you know that's impacted has been big. Even in my own family, getting that information out has been really helpful for them. So I think that's the altruistic answer. And what I would say about our Relay for Life and our 12 to 12 event is if you want to come, you don't have to come for 12 hours. You don't have to even sign up for a team. We'll register when you get there. Come for an hour. Come get inspired. If you talk to any of the teams that are there, any of the volunteers, I can tell you that you're going to stay longer than you thought and you're going to have a good time.
Everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
We're hoping people will be putting together teams and helping to raise funds for the fight against cancer and the programs that are offered through the American Cancer Society. But what this is basically, Mark, here's my take on it. The Henderson Relay for Life event, Saturday, April 22nd at the beautiful M Resort and Casino, starts at noon. Opening ceremonies, what's going to happen as the day goes?
Well, I know Desiree is prepared with some things too, so I'll share a little bit and then Desiree can go. We always start with a focus on what I would say is our guests of honor, our survivors and caregivers. We celebrate them. We talk about American Cancer Society and its mission and what's going on in the world. And then we have a survivor lap. So the survivor lap is the first of a series of fun laps that'll go on throughout the day. So there's a schedule for laps. Funny sock lap, superhero lap. This year with the theme fairy tales. Well, I'm sure we'll have some fairy tale themed laps.
A tutu.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll have backwards laps as it gets darker, glow in the dark, that type of thing. So there's always walking around the track. And then we'll have a main stage where we have entertainment. We have several bands already lined up.
Elvis will be in the building.
Oh, that's right. Quite entertaining. Desiree, what else do you got?
Tons of live music, like Mark mentioned, local bands that come out and just give their time because of the cause. We'll have some Zumba classes. We'll have a special cutout just for the kids. They're going to have their own place to be and have fun. That's going to have bouncy houses and arts and crafts and things to really keep them focused so that mom and dad and aunt and uncle, grandma and grandpa can really take some time for themselves and really take in the day. We'll have, of course, all the fundraising. The campsite fundraising is going to be going on, so there'll be tons of food, crafts for sale. There'll be raffles and giveaways, and the DJ is amazing. He really brings the event to life, making sure everybody remembers why we're there and what's coming up. And then after the sun goes down, we're going to line the track with luminaria bags and have our luminaria ceremony to remember the loved ones lost and honor those that continue to fight. And we'll close things up at about midnight with closing ceremony families, lots of tears and lots of smiles at the same time. I walk away from it feeling like I've gained so much perspective and learned how everybody's journey is unique. And there's just a lot of respect that comes out of seeing so many people come together for this one cause.
I just wanted to say, I think what separates Relay for Life from a lot of the other charity walks is we build relationships. And I know that the year and a half that I've been doing this with the American Cancer Society, this is a lifetime for me now. We really do build relationships. We call afterwards. We want to thank you for coming to the event. It's just an amazing experience.
12 hours. That's going to go really fast. For the Henderson Relay for Life at the M Resort, Saturday, April 22nd from noon to midnight with all this stuff in between. You know, I think if anybody's got in their mind that Relay for Life is just people going around a track, you guys have so much more going on than that.
Yes.
We really do. And if anybody is interested in finding out more about how they can get involved for the day of the event, we do have our last rally for teams that's coming up on April 6th. It'll be at the Green Valley High School CSN campus at 6:30. Anyone's more than welcome to come to that meeting and get the layout of the day and decide if they want to be involved. They could even just stop by there and drop off donations if all they want to do is donate. But we'd love to have people come out and just hear about it and see if it's something that they want to do.
You guys are working really hard to make this Henderson Relay for Life a really good time that day.
Absolutely.
Then we also were mentioning, Lisa, the Las Vegas Relay for Life at the Smith Center at Symphony Park right outside, Friday, May 12th. What are the hours for that?
This one is also a 12-hour event from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And they will have entertainment and different things going on as well. This one follows a little bit more of you're staying up all night. The cancer doesn't sleep, so neither do we. Last year, theirs was during the day, but it can change every year.
Every different Relay for Life event for the American Cancer Society sounds very unique.
Absolutely.
Not just for the different locations, but also year to year, you guys change it up. Is it just a situation where it gets better every year?
I'd like to think so. You mentioned we're doing a lot of hard work, and one of the things that I'm just astonished by is that I came in as the chair last year, never having volunteered on a committee, but we're a committee of volunteers. Some of them have been doing this as a volunteer on the committee for like 15 or 20 years. So to talk about the change that we've seen between two events in 1 year, they've had it all over. Henderson, the South Valley, pulling people from all over the valley to help in Henderson. There's people from all over the valley that help at Las Vegas, and it's really inspirational.
And it's not too late to get involved on the committees either. We recruit committees year round. I mean, this event ends on April 22nd, but we'll start planning on April 23rd for next year's event. So we are always looking for committee members that help and successors for the following year too. So that's another way that you could get involved, is be on the committee.
Well, Lisa, with Talking Solutions, we're always looking for ways that all of us can make a difference. And the American Cancer Society, no doubt you rely very heavily on volunteers for a lot of different things. We talked about the Road to Recovery program a little bit earlier, where people drive cancer patients back and forth to their treatments. There are many opportunities. If somebody says, I could make a difference, I could do a few hours, I could help with a Relay for Life, or I'm sure there's some kind of volunteer position they could use me for, how would they get in touch with you?
There's many different ways, but the easiest thing to do is to actually call the 1-800 number. And then you can tell them exactly what you're looking for, and they will put you in touch with the local office for those volunteer opportunities.
Any of us who have ever lost someone to cancer in these days, unfortunately, I think most of us have somewhere in our history. If you want to do something to honor the person that you lost, one of the best things you could do is get involved with a group like the American Cancer Society and say, I lost my friend Shirley to melanoma. I think I can make a difference. I want to raise awareness. I want to help in some way. Easy to do.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we do at all of our meetings, Desiree does this and I do this, we were inspired by another longtime volunteer to do what we call a purple pail. And whether we have a relay rally or a committee meeting, we start with a moment for the reason why you're there. For most people, it changes every week. If you have $1 or a quarter, you put it in the purple pail and you tell your story. Sometimes they're sad, sometimes they're happy if you have good news from somebody. This year we have a committee member who has been dealing with a severe diagnosis and was shocked to see her come through treatment and come to our last committee meeting and say, I want to help, what can I do? And it totally blew me away. A really moving moment that we had.
Talk about celebrating survivors.
Yeah.
One of your committee members?
Yeah.
Wow. Close to home.
Yeah.
What am I forgetting? Anything?
We do have a fundraiser coming up for folks that might not be able to make it out to the event but would like to help give back. On April 1st, we'll have a flapjack fundraiser out at the Applebee's on Stephanie across from the Galleria Mall. That's going to go from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. People who'd like to come out and be served a pancake breakfast can get a hold of me at rflhenderson@gmail.com for advance tickets.
I would say another way to find out about our events, we also have a Facebook page set up, as you might expect.
Sure, social media.
We do a pretty good job, Desiree, for the most part, of broadcasting our events there and all the news about what's happening. We are on Facebook. Relay for Life of Henderson.
So you guys have got a really good Facebook page for this
Yes.
event.
And then also
Yes.
for Las Vegas as well. Relay for Life
Yep.
Las Vegas.
I will also include that on the Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with the podcast of our discussion today. Well, those are the two main Relay for Life events that we're talking about today on the show. And the first one is coming up on Saturday, April 22nd. It's at the M Resort, and it's from 12 noon to midnight that night, and that would be the Relay for Life for Henderson. And then, not too far down the road from that, on Friday, May 12th, from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. the next day, it's Relay for Life Las Vegas at the Smith Center right outside there in Symphony Park. So all the information can be found relayforlife.org.
Correct. And then you can search by zip code, state, city, and find those events.
All of it to raise funds and do some bonding. It's just a bunch of people getting together, have a good time. Celebrate survivors
Yes.
and the caregivers who are so important and often overlooked. Just to get together and have a great time for a great cause.
Yep. We also have a powerful time. The other word that I would share about the Relay for Life is remember and honor. And we didn't really touch on our Luminaria ceremony. Well, briefly talked about it, but it's beautiful, especially being out in the open parking lot there at the M Resort. We had a full moon going over the mountains last year, right at our 9 o'clock start of our Luminaria ceremony. A time to honor, remember, in memory of anybody that you've lost or is currently surviving. And I think the most positive feedback that I got last year was really touched by the Luminaria ceremony.
I'm looking at a picture. Desiree just pulled it up on her phone. That's beautiful. All of those luminarias. And I know that the last Relay for Life that I had attended, which happened to be up in North Las Vegas, the luminaria ceremony is the most emotional, touching moment.
Yeah.
It could be very healing as well.
So no matter what your perspective, a cancer survivor, which a cancer survivor, as we identified earlier in our talk, is anyone who's been diagnosed with cancer from day one is identified by the American Cancer Society as a survivor. We believe in you. You can do this. So anyone who is a cancer survivor, their caregivers, their family, their friends, anyone in that circle. These days, that's pretty much all of us, don't you think?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll work on changing that. That's the purpose.
Yes. I want to work myself out of a job.
I love that.
Good.
Well, we'll see what we can do to help you get out of a job.
All right.
I want to thank Mark Campbell and Desiree Lovelace, both involved with the Relay for Life Henderson, and also Lisa Buchina, the senior manager for Relay for Life. And you do all kinds of them around this part of the country with the American Cancer Society. Anything else, guys?
I was just going to mention Relay for Life is actually the world's largest fundraising event to fight every cancer. So this doesn't just go to one type of cancer. Relay for Life is for all cancers.
And there are way too many.
Yes.
Time to volunteer, time to get involved, put together your team, time to find out what you can do to be a part of Relay for Life, the two events that we've discussed today. Mark, Desiree, and Lisa, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us today on Talking Solutions.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you
Thank you
Thank
so much.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.